All right, let's try this one more time. How you doing, YouTube? So, I'm really super excited about something new that I got. It's this thing. Hang on. Getting it out my windshield. Yep, it's a solar panel. That's right. Dawn has solar. And you're like, what, that little thing? That's what I thought too. I was like, is this actually gonna work? It's an off-brand, I don't know, solar panel. That's what it's called. But guess what I also have? Give me a second to unplug some things. I have an off-brand solar generator. That's right. This sticker I put on there, if you're not familiar, this is Vanlife, which is it's one of my favorite YouTube channels. Chrome Valdez, he lives in Canada. And one of the things he preached early on in his van build was keeping it simple. Like literally, his one-day van build was some plastic furniture and a bed. And not much else. And now his fan looks super fancy because he's upgraded it very slowly as he's lived in it. And now it looks super pimp. And if you see a video today, it's hard to believe what he started as. So you need to like go back and actually look at it. But he was the direct inspiration for, I could do this really simple. Like his video was like the best. And so I got this thing. Because I was like, one of the things I need in the car, and I was already in it at that point, and it was before I had the van, obviously, was I needed backup power. And I was like, well, do backup batteries even exist? And so I go on Amazon, and one of the things that popped up was Jackery, which I think was like $300 or $400. And mind you, I really like Jackery. I've seen it on Hobo Alley's video, and I've seen it on Chrome Valdez videos. And it looks like a really super awesome beast, especially for powering things a little heavier than this thing can power. I don't actually remember how much this can do, but the point is, literally the name on it is like, I don't know if you can see it, it's just so much sun. Portable solar generator, and that's literally what the box says. There's no brand name on it. This is like some off-brand solar generator, and I've had it many months now as my only source of power in the van when the van is turned off, or my only source of power in the car when the car was turned off. This was my house power. This is how I charge things overnight. This is how I charge things when the car was off. So my laptop, my phone, my iPad, all of my devices have been being charged on this thing almost exclusively for months. Almost all of us plug in our devices when we're in buildings. But I've done no more than most people. Like when I'm home, I plug it in here. When I'm not home, I plug it into the building. And sometimes I take this into the building and I get it charged up. But mostly I've been charging it in my car via the accessory slot, or what we call the 12-volt charger. So there's this 12-volt charger and you plug it into here. This is the input side, and you can do that. There's also a house plug, for lack of a better thing to call it, made just like this. This end's like this, the other end plugs into a wall. And that was all I had for a while. I didn't have a solar panel. I wasn't going to put out a lot of money for a solar panel. Like, I had enough access to buildings and driving that I was completely good with power. But then I saw this thing and I was like, okay, it's not that much. If it doesn't work, no harm, no foul. So I get it. And the first time I plug it in, absolutely nothing happens. Now it's super sunny, so for some reason the glare isn't allowing this to show, I don't think. But there's a button here that says AC output, and when I push this and it's lit up, which again the sun is making it look like it's never lit up, then these work. That's what makes all of these work. And then I can always check my battery level by hitting this. It's really dark. But anyway, so when it's charging, this thing like does a little, your standard blinky thing, like, oh, I'm charging, blink, 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 blink. And so the first time I plugged in the solar panel, I didn't get that little blinky blink thing. So I thought it didn't work. And I was like, no harm, no foul. And I just kind of left it there. Then another day when it was really sunny, I was like, let me try this thing again. And I think it was just a little bit too overcast. And let's face it, it's a small, cheap, not great, solar panel if you want serious power. But I just want to know I can get power to my battery at times when the car is off and I don't have access to a building. So at times when my car is parked somewhere in the sun all day and I'm not in it, oh my God, I'm sweating so much right now, but I don't want to turn on the air because it's so noisy. But I'm going to finish this really quick. It'd be nice if the solar panel could charge my house power. And so through a lot of attachments and plugging in here on a really sunny day, I was happy to look down and see that the indicator that it was charging is blinking. And you can't see it because there's so much sun and so much glare, but that's why this thing is charging. So I now officially am a van dweller with solar. It's super cheap solar. It's not super powerful solar, but it will continue to keep all of my things charged. And the great thing is, I don't have to lug this into a building as much, because the hard thing is, like, your cell phone, you still might forget, but you're less likely to forget it because we use our cell phones for so much. Especially if I've stuck this in a corner and I've worked several hours in a day, remembering to go get it, there's a risk of me leaving it if I'm super tired, and I prefer leaving it in the car. So if it can be in the car, in the sun, while I'm working, and the battery is staying charged, then that's great. So this little cheap solar panel, just to get back to like Chrome Valdez's talk about keeping it simple, was exactly what I needed to continue to get by for now. And there was a time I got by without this. Like, I was in a car, I had that, and I had when I was driving and when I could take it into a building and plug it in. And I made that work. And now I have this, and I'm making this work. And I'm hoping, like, someday I'll have a nice, big, powerful, off-the-grid solar system. But until I get that, this works. In addition to Chrome Valdez, obviously there's the legendary Bob Wells, and he had a video recently about getting burned out, and who knows how recent that video would have been at the point that this video gets published. But the thing is, one of the things he talked about in his video was, if you're going to get into van life, getting into the life you can afford. Like, if you can't afford a big fancy RV and you're like, oh my God, I can never do like van life with at least a class B that already has a bathroom in it, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you're not going to be able to do it. You just don't even try. Because you're not willing to let go of things that are similar to a house. And the weight of doing this life is to let go of things that are similar to a house, because then you're happy when you've gone from, you know, not having a solar panel to having a super cheap one. Or if you can't afford it, yeah, know what? Spend your bucks. You know, if you can't afford it, great. But if you can't, you're just going to stress yourself out trying to have the things that you can't have. Like, I'm okay not having a bathroom in my vehicle. You know, if I really need to wash up, I have water, I have a basin, and I have a washcloth. And that'll work just as well as anything on the days I'm between gym visits. And when I have time for a gym visit, I'll do the gym visit. You know what I'm saying? And then I have a shower. A shower I don't have to fool with until I really want to. I don't have to clean it. I don't have to do any maintenance on it. I don't have to worry about plumbing problems. I go to it, I leave it. And the biggest plumbing problem in my van is spilling water, which I try not to do. So yeah, and then there's baby wipes, of course. There's always the baby wipe bath. And then the other thing is like kitchens and like all these things that we use a few times a day. And there's nothing where I'm like, yeah, this is difficult. This is a little more challenging. Yes, it would be nice to like walk down a hall to a bathroom. Yes, it would be nice to like, you know, go into a kitchen with a fridge. But it's not nice enough that I want to give up the freedom I have for those things. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm so happy about the solar panel and the fact that it works, mostly because I don't like to waste money. So since I bought it, I really did want it to work. I mean, I told myself it was no harm, no foul if it didn't work, but I really wanted it to work. And at first I thought it had been a waste of money. So plugging it in and just seeing, you know, sorry, I'm going to go ahead and put this back because right now it's not working because it doesn't have any sun. But plugging it in and seeing like that indicator start to go up and down, oh man, that was like the best like moment ever, seeing the battery actually react to being plugged into the solar panel. It was just great. It was like, oh my gosh, like this thing actually like works. It's actually receiving power and it's actually sending it to the battery. I've had to worry about running out of battery power less since, you know, I realized what I needed to do to make it work. And it's nice to learn a little bit about like when things are overcast and such, with a cheap panel. I mean, the worst thing ever would have been to buy a super expensive system, do a super expensive setup, and really not understand what was wrong and think maybe I wired something wrong, when in fact it's, you know, it's not just that the sun is present, but that, you know, the solar panel is getting the right amount of energy input from the sun, for lack of a better way of talking about it. Also, I'm not an expert and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, really. But my iPad is sliding. You guys are sliding. That's all. Super excited about my solar panel. That's right. Dawn has solar in her van. Sort of. Bye.